Hey everyone, I recently uploaded my latest short film, Unwanted. As a big fan of horror, I wanted to give that genre a try. It was my first attempt at it, and I have to say, it was extremely challenging, but I learned a lot. So I wanted to share some of those lessons that I learned that I think might be useful to you, especially if you're a solo filmmaker trying to make a low-budget short film. If you haven't seen the short film yet, I'll leave the link in the description below or in the tag up here. Or here. Lesson number 1. Story. Using the estimate that one page equals 1 minute, having a 5-page script would mean that your short film will be roughly 5 minutes long. With that in mind, you really have to jump straight into the story. My script was 4.5 pages long, and most of the first page didn't even make the final cut. I had written some intro shots to establish the mood and incorporate the title, but it just wasn't interesting because nothing was happening. So I cut all of that out and started as late as possible. This way, you can focus on the good parts of the story rather than using the precious time on shots that might not move the story along. It also gives you more time on set to ensure that you capture the most important parts of the story. So for lesson number 1, try to start as late into the story as possible. Lesson number 2, locations. When working with low to no budget, securing locations can be extremely challenging. As a result, a lot of beginner filmmakers make films that take place in public areas or spaces that they have easy access to. For Unwanted, which takes place at a parking lot, I figured getting access to one would be manageable. It was one of the most difficult parts of making this short film. You can of course do guerrilla filmmaking and film as fast as you can and get out before being noticed. However, I had actors, some crew, and only about 6 hours to capture everything. So I wanted to make sure that the location was secure. So I ended up using Google Maps to scout possible locations, and after writing down some options, I reached out to the businesses/organizations to get their permission. The thing is, all of them required insurance and a deposit of thousands of dollars. It got to a point where we were less than a week out from shooting and the location was not set. So I decided to try public service buildings that have a nice parking lot like community centers and libraries. Unfortunately, the community centers had events or they still required safety deposits. However, the libraries are where I struck gold. Literally the night before the shoot, they gave me permission to film there and the location was set. Yeah, it was stressful. Now imagine the short film had 3 different locations. That's why lesson number 2 is keep the number of locations as low as possible and at a place you can get access to. Lesson number 3, adapt. I really wanted to challenge myself with Unwanted and decided to include practical effects like fake blood and props that added to the story. For example, there was supposed to be garbage bags that the main character uses as window covers to block light, but it was really cold that night and the tape wasn't holding. We spent an hour trying to work with this issue, but it just wouldn't cooperate. So I decided to completely remove it out of the story and change the blocking to adapt. In the end, it really wasn't that important to the film, and removing it isn't that noticeable. Except for maybe this shot where you still see it waving around in the background, but who knows? Maybe that's a ghost? After removing the props, we had to reshoot for continuity. So to make up for the lost time, I cut out shots that weren't crucial to the story and combined shots into one. By doing so, we were still able to finish on time. It's instances like these where being able to adapt is almost a necessity. Lesson number 4. Enjoy. Even with all the challenges, making a film with others is extremely satisfying and rewarding. When you're working on your film with others, you're literally a filmmaker. And if that's your dream, you're living it. So even with all the challenges, the struggles, and the stress, remember to enjoy it as well. So these are some of the lessons that I learned while making my short film Unwanted. I hope this helps you on your journey, and if you're curious about the pre- and post-production programs I used to make the film, check out this video here. Thank you for watching and make sure to check out Unwanted if you haven't already. Good luck on your projects and I'll see you on the next one.